It's interesting how life shifts with time. What once felt natural, automatic even, can suddenly start to feel different as the years pass. Breakfast, for example, used to be something we hardly thought about, just a quick start to the day. But as the body grows older, the first meal of the morning begins to matter more than ever. It's not simply about filling your stomach anymore, it's about giving your heart and mind the gentle kind of fuel they can actually thrive on. That's the quiet truth we don't always notice until it taps us on the shoulder. Aging has this way of teaching us to listen more closely. What felt light and energizing at 40 might sit heavy and restless at 70. And that isn't a sign of decline, it's a sign of wisdom your body has earned. You see, your body has been with you through every single moment of your life, and now it whispers to you in new ways. Instead of demanding, it invites. Instead of rushing, it asks for patience. Have you felt that too, that small but persistent difference in how food sits in your system? That subtle way your heart tells you when it's carrying more than it should. It can be easy to dismiss those feelings, to tell yourself you're overthinking. But those are the signals of care, the gentle reminders that life at this stage isn't about pushing harder, but about moving with more grace. There's something almost philosophical about this shift. We spend our younger years believing our bodies are unshakable, and in many ways they are. But as the decades move on, the gift of awareness grows stronger than brute strength. You begin to realize that honoring your body isn't about what you can handle, but about what makes you feel peaceful and steady inside. That's why looking at the foods on your breakfast table matters more than it used to. Because breakfast isn't just food, it sets the tone for the heart's entire day. And here's a question worth carrying with you. Do you see your morning meal as a gift to your future self, or just a habit you've never thought to change? There's no right or wrong answer, only the gentle curiosity of noticing. Some of the changes may seem small, but small is powerful at this stage of life. A lighter choice here, a calmer pace there, these are not restrictions, they're acts of kindness. And the truth is, kindness toward yourself always shows up in your health, in your energy, and in the way your heart carries you forward. I'd truly love to know where you're reading this from right now. Are you in a bustling city, a quiet village, or maybe somewhere in between? Share it in the comments. I think it's beautiful to see how different our morning tables look depending on where we are in the world. George, a 74-year-old retired teacher, once told me how much he loved the smell of sizzling bacon in the morning. For him, it wasn't just food, it was tradition, comfort, a way of feeling connected to the life he had lived for decades. But over time, he noticed something was shifting. By mid-afternoon, his energy would sink so low that even a short walk felt like a burden. He also began to experience a heavy sensation in his chest after breakfast, something he had never felt before. At first, he ignored it, chalking it up to just getting older. But when his doctor gently pointed out the link between processed meats and heart strain, George decided to experiment. He reduced his bacon ritual from every day to once a week, replacing it with boiled eggs and avocado toast on the other days. Within a month, he felt lighter, more stable, and, to his surprise, he didn't miss the daily bacon as much as he thought he would. His mornings began to feel more open, less weighed down. There's a lesson in George's story that touches on something deeper. The foods we've loved for years often carry emotional weight far beyond their nutritional value. It's not simply about calories or salt, it's about memories, comfort, and the rhythm of routine. That's why change can feel so difficult. But change doesn't mean loss. It means adjustment, creating space for new ways of caring for the body that has carried you through so much. Processed meats, bacon, sausage, ham, are heavy in salt and saturated fats. These don't just sit quietly in your system, they push against the arteries, make them stiffer, raise the pressure that your heart has to work against. When you were younger, your body could buffer some of that strain. Now it feels the weight more directly, more immediately. That isn't weakness, it's simply the truth of time.
And acknowledging it is a form of respect for the wisdom your body has earned. If you're wondering what to do instead, think of it as an experiment rather than a rule. Could you try swapping bacon for boiled eggs or avocado toast just once or twice this week? Could you keep bacon as a weekend treat rather than a daily habit, so it feels special without becoming a burden? Even small shifts like replacing ham with turkey slices can lighten the load on your heart without stripping away the joy of breakfast. The goal is not perfection. The goal is a gentler beginning to your day, one that leaves your heart breathing a little easier. And here's something important to reflect on. How does your body feel after your breakfast? Do you sense heaviness or fatigue, or do you feel steady and clear? Those quiet signals matter more than numbers on a nutrition label. Your body is always speaking to you. It's simply a matter of slowing down enough to hear it. If these gentle reflections are resonating with you, I warmly invite you to subscribe. That way, you'll receive more small, heart-friendly insights and reminders delivered in the same calm, caring tone, week by week. Because sometimes what we need most is not another rule to follow, but a quiet companion along the way. If you're wondering what to do instead, think of it as an experiment rather than a rule. Could you try swapping bacon for boiled eggs or avocado toast just once or twice this week? Could you keep bacon as a weekend treat rather than a daily habit, so it feels special without becoming a burden? Even small shifts like replacing ham with turkey slices can lighten the load on your heart without stripping away the joy of breakfast. The goal is not perfection. The goal is a gentler beginning to your day, one that leaves your heart breathing a little easier. And here's something important to reflect on. How does your body feel after your breakfast? Do you sense heaviness or fatigue, or do you feel steady and clear? Those quiet signals matter more than numbers on a nutrition label. Your body is always speaking to you. It's simply a matter of slowing down enough to hear it. If these gentle reflections are resonating with you, I warmly invite you to subscribe. That way, you'll receive more small, heart-friendly insights and reminders delivered in the same calm, caring tone, week by week. Because sometimes what we need most is not another rule to follow, but a quiet companion along the way. It's easy to think of a bowl of cereal or a warm pastry as a harmless start to the day.
After all, they feel light, comforting, even nostalgic. But what's gentle on the tongue is not always gentle on the heart. When you eat a sweet breakfast, your body responds quickly. Blood sugar rises, insulin surges, and for a short while you might feel a burst of energy. Yet soon after, there's the familiar crash, tiredness, irritability, sometimes even a hollow hunger that feels unfair, as if you hadn't eaten at all. That cycle places quiet but steady pressure on your heart, and with age, the effects become more noticeable. The vessels that carry blood are less elastic now, less forgiving, and every spike and dip in sugar asks them to stretch and contract in ways that wear them down. Over time, this stress can inflame the lining of the arteries, creating small cracks where cholesterol settles and builds. It's not just about sweetness, it's about the silent work your body has to do to clean up after it. Think for a moment. Have you noticed yourself feeling heavy-eyed an hour after a sweet breakfast, or perhaps restless, even anxious, when the sugar high fades? These are not signs of weakness. They are your body's gentle messages, showing you the need for steadier fuel. And what a gift it is that your body still speaks so clearly. The question is not, why is this happening to me, but what can I offer myself instead? You don't have to let go of sweetness altogether. Instead, let it take a softer, kinder form. Oatmeal, for example, when dressed with berries and a drizzle of honey, offers natural sugars wrapped in fiber that slows their entry into the bloodstream. A slice of whole grain toast with nut butter gives you not just energy, but also steadiness, a sense of being anchored rather than pulled into a spike and crash. Even plain yogurt, sprinkled with cinnamon or a few slices of fruit, can satisfy your taste for sweetness while giving your body balance. Aging, in this way, is less about restriction and more about refinement.
It invites you to notice not only what tastes good in the moment, but also what feels good an hour later, 3 hours later, even at the end of the day. That awareness is a kind of wisdom, earned, not given. And it shifts the question of breakfast from "what do I want right now" to "what will carry me gently through the day." These small adjustments do more than nourish your body. They remind you that care is a practice, not an event. You're not aiming for perfection, only for peace in how your heart feels as it beats steadily through the morning. Coffee has a way of becoming more than a drink. It's a ritual, a pause, sometimes even a form of comfort. Many people say, "I can't start my day without it," and there's nothing wrong with cherishing that morning moment. But as the years go by, the way coffee touches the body begins to shift. What once felt like a gentle boost can start to feel like a jolt, and the heart, which has already worked tirelessly through decades of life, may no longer welcome that sudden rush.
The question isn't whether coffee is good or bad. It's how your body receives it now, in this season of your life. One of the kindest things you can do is to start noticing. How does your heart feel after that first cup? Does it beat quickly, leaving you restless or uneasy? Or does it settle you, giving clarity without agitation? That observation alone can guide you toward balance. If you find your heart racing, it doesn't mean you have to give up coffee altogether. Instead, try stepping into gentler choices. You might start by pouring half caffeinated and half decaf so the transition feels natural, not forced. You could explore green tea, which carries less caffeine but still offers warmth and alertness. Another simple shift is to drink a glass of water before your coffee. That small step softens the impact on your system, almost like cushioning your heart from the jolt. These adjustments are not about deprivation, they are about creating space for ease. Sometimes the most powerful changes are the smallest ones, repeated daily until they no longer feel like changes at all, but simply a new way of caring for yourself. Imagine it as tuning an instrument. You don't throw away the violin because one string is sharp. You simply adjust it until the music flows more smoothly. In the same way, reducing coffee gradually, perhaps 1 cup less each week, allows your body to adapt gently. There is no rush, no demand for perfection, only a conversation with yourself about what feels steady, calm, and kind. Aging teaches us this, that vitality is not about pushing harder, but about listening more deeply. Your heart is wise, and it deserves mornings that support its rhythm instead of challenging it. When you offer it that gentleness, it responds not just in numbers on a chart, but in the quality of your days, the steadiness of your energy, the softness of your mood, the peace you feel moving through ordinary moments. There's a common phrase many people hold on to: salt is only a problem if you have high blood pressure. It sounds reassuring, almost like permission to ignore those grains we sprinkle so easily across our plates. But the truth is gentler and at the same time more serious. Salt has its effect on every heart, whether or not the numbers on a blood pressure monitor seem normal. As the body ages, arteries naturally stiffen, like old tree branches that no longer bend the way they once did. Salt pulls in water, adds volume to the bloodstream, and that extra pressure pushes against the vessel walls, asking the heart to pump harder. Even when the changes are invisible, they are still there, quietly shaping how your heart feels day to day. You might notice swollen ankles after a salty breakfast of cured meats or cheese, or a heaviness in your chest that wasn't there before. These are not random annoyances. They are your body's way of whispering, "Please lighten the load." The beauty is, lightening the load doesn't mean stripping joy from your morning table. It can be as simple as choosing unsalted butter or replacing it with a drizzle of olive oil spread, which gives richness without the hidden burden. If you're used to canned soups or instant mixes in the morning, try preparing a small pot of fresh vegetable broth that can last for days. Your heart will thank you for the difference. Even cheese, a beloved favorite for many, can be enjoyed more kindly by shifting toward lighter cottage cheese or using smaller amounts of sharper cheeses that satisfy the palate with less. The question to hold is not, should I remove salt completely, but where can I give my body a little more ease? These small decisions accumulate into a softer path forward. Think of it as creating breathing room for your heart, space for it to do its work without strain. This is the philosophy of aging well, not to deny yourself, but to tune your life in ways that let the music continue longer, clearer, sweeter. Each adjustment you make is not a punishment, but a kindness, a way of saying thank you to the body that has carried you through decades of living. And what is more beautiful than learning, even now, that care can be expressed in something as simple as the way you season your food? If these thoughts have touched you, I invite you to keep walking this path with me by subscribing. You'll receive more of these gentle reflections, reminders that health is not about strict rules, but about compassionate awareness. And I'd love to hear from you. What small change in your breakfast are you ready to try this week? Share it in the comments, because your story might be the encouragement someone else is quietly waiting for.